venir de, venir de. So essentially you have to conjugate the verb venir and then you can add de, venir de. So what does this mean? What does this mean? De means from and of, okay? So keep that in mind. Venir de, that little phrase means to come from a place, okay? So if you go to the store and you want to let someone know, hey, I'm coming from the store. I didn't find bread, for example, right? It's similar to saying that in Spanish you can say that you were at the place and you're coming from that place, right? So venir de is very useful for that situation, in that situation. So let's look at some examples using the verb venir and also de, venir de. For example, vengo de la farmacia. Vengo de la farmacia. Remember the V sound. It's not the same as in English. It's V is very similar to B as in bell in Spanish. Vengo de la farmacia. So this means I'm coming from the pharmacy. Okay, so farmacia means pharmacy or drugstore. Okay, so let's break this down. Vengo, yo vengo. That means, technically it means I come from, if we add the, of course, I come from the pharmacy. But vengo also means, or it's similar to saying I'm coming from a place. Vengo de, that whole thing means I'm coming from, okay? I'm coming from. Vengo de. And then you add the noun. Sometimes you will have to add a definite article. In this situation, la is the definite article, feminine and singular, and that means the, okay? Why is it feminine? Because farmacia, the noun, is a feminine noun. La farmacia. You cannot say el farmacia, okay? Because that's wrong. Remember, in Spanish, we have grammatical genders. That's a thing. So you have to pay attention to the noun. Farmacia, la farmacia, that's feminine. La farmacia, the pharmacy, okay? So, interesting. Vengo de means I'm coming from, okay? Vengo de la farmacia, I'm coming from the pharmacy, okay? Or you went to the pharmacy and you returned, you came back to, I don't know, home, anywhere where you were before. Anyways. Okay, so this can change, of course. You can change it to any other noun. Vengo de la tienda. Okay, I'm coming from this store. Okay, you were at the store, not anymore, but you were there. La tienda means the store. You can change this to something else. For example, vengo del trabajo. Why del? Why? This means I'm coming from work. Okay? I'm coming from work. Vengo del trabajo. I'm coming from work. So del, that happens when you have de and el in Spanish. El is a definite article, masculine. Okay, masculine. And I mean, sometimes you have to use them because of grammatical genders. So if you have this in Spanish, you cannot say de él. Okay, that's wrong. What happens is you make it one word and it becomes del. Okay, del. So if you see de, and then after that, you want to say, a masculine definite article, and then you have to put them all together and it becomes del trabajo. Vengo del trabajo. Trabajo means work, okay? Work and also job. So that's the meaning of this word. Okay, so let's change it to something else really quickly. De la casa. Vengo de la casa. I'm coming from home. Okay? La casa. La casa. Casa, feminine. It means house or home. Okay? La, feminine definite article. La casa, home. In this situation, it means home. Okay? Excellent. So this is very useful if you want to say, hey, I was somewhere before and, I'm coming from that place. Okay, excellent. Remember, you have the phrase, the phrase we're learning, venir de, and you also have a noun. So that is, the formula right there. So it's pretty easy. This is very basic, of course, but very, very, very useful. Excellent. Now let's look at another example. I believe I have two more examples here. Okay. What do we have here? María viene de correr en el parque. María viene de correr en el parque. This means Maria is coming from running in the park or at the park. She was at the park, not anymore. She's coming from that place. Excellent. So let's break this down. Maria. Okay. Maria. One sec. There you go. Maria. Maria means Maria. Mary in English. It's like the equivalent. But Maria can be Maria. Viene. Viene. We have the phrase we're learning here, the verb plus de. Viene de. Venir. De. Of course, venir is conjugated. María viene de. Maria is coming from. Okay, technically, the literal translation is Maria comes from. Okay, but also it's similar to saying Maria is coming from. Okay, correr. Correr. Correr is another verb and it means to run. But if you're talking about an activity in Spanish, usually in English you have gerund, the gerund of the verb. So running, eating, reading, playing. In Spanish, we leave it as as infinitive. The infinitive form, we just leave it like that. We don't conjugate the verb. And that's why when talking about activities, you just say correr, comer, caminar, leer, estudiar. Okay? So it's similar to saying in this situation, correr is similar to running. En, in, or at. En can mean in, on, and at. Okay, so it's very versatile for sure. And then we have the noun el, the parque, parque means park. It's quite similar, huh? Parque, park. Just remember, parque is masculine. It's a masculine noun. That's why we're saying el parque, el parque. Excellent. Excellent. Now let's look at the next example. Okay. Vengo de una familia de maestros. Vengo de una familia de maestros. So this one is a bit different than the previous examples. And let me tell you the translation and we'll talk about it. I come from a family of teachers. Now we're talking about, your family. You can use venir de if you want to talk about your family. If you come from a family, for example, of teachers or lawyers or dentists, I don't know, doctors, you can actually say vengo de, and then, of course, vengo, you can say yo vengo de, yo, the personal pronoun yo, but we don't need to say yo all the time in Spanish. So that's why we only have vengo de. Similar to this one up here. But the difference is here you're talking about, a place. You're coming from a place. Now we're talking about coming from a family. And yeah, it's correct. You can do that in Spanish as well. Una, first of all, vengo de means I come from. Okay, I come from. That's the literal translation of vengo de. Una means a. And this is called an indefinite article. And it's also feminine. So una means a. Familia, family. And also it's good to say, I want to point out that we're using the indefinite feminine article una because we have familia, which is feminine, and also it's singular. So that's why we're saying una, not unas. Unas is plural, okay? We have a singular noun, so keep that in mind. Also, de means of. As I said before, de can mean from and also of, okay? Maestros means teachers. Teachers, maestros, los maestros, the teachers or teachers. And yeah, you need plural because when talking, if your family, when talking about your family, if you have or if you come from a family of maestros, well, that's plural, right? Teachers, maestros. You can change this, of course, to any other profession. Abogados. Let me just erase this. Okay. Abogados, this word over here means lawyers. Okay, lawyers. You also have, you can say any other profession really, but just plural, right? De doctores. Vengo de una familia de doctores. I come from a family of doctors. Oops, I forgot the R. There you go. So doctores means doctors. Okay, so that is similar, a little similar. That word, the Spanish and the English one, doctores, doctors. So that's good news. That's good news. That's always good. Easy to remember. It's easy to remember. So remember, venir de means to come from. Usually you use it if you are talking about coming from a place, you're coming from a place, but also when talking about family. About family, if you come from a family of lawyers, doctors, teachers, and so on. Okay, so that is very interesting. Very interesting. Excellent. Do you guys have any questions?